This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Investing in real estate doesn't have to be a pipe dream. But how do you find, analyze, renovate, finance investment properties without getting ripped off? My name's Andrew Glisson. In 4 short years, me and my team built a portfolio of 200 rental properties in multiple cities as a hobby while working full-time. We took all of that experience and built a mentorship program called the Victory Strategy to unlock every step of investing in real estate. If that sounds like the opportunity you've been waiting for, look us up at thevictorystrategy.com.
Y mucho más. Disfruta de nuestro canal de YouTube en tu dispositivo.
Welcome to the New Health. As people are getting sicker at younger ages, we are bringing on thought leaders that are revolutionizing healthcare and changing the world. I am your host, Jessica Preston, and back with us today is Josh Rimini, pharmacist turned functional medicine provider, training other pharmacists on how to promote health and wellness. Josh, thank you so much for being back with us today.
Oh, this is so much fun. Thank you for having me back. I'm excited.
Me too. So we talked last time about wellness made simple, which was diet, lifestyle, supplements, and labs. And we spoke about that a little bit. We had spoken about diet, and a lot of people have some direction on diet. But lifestyle I'd really love to hit on today, since everyone says change your lifestyle and nobody has a clue what that means.
Because it's an arbitrary word, right? When it's easy for me to get up here and say like lifestyle is a problem. Well, what does that mean, right? And so we're living in a toxic world. You know, this thing, our phone, like it's useful, but there's all this toxicity around us. And so lifestyle medicine is really the root around what are the things we can be doing that are being regenerative and helping our body heal itself.
That's wonderful. One thing I always think about with lifestyle is when you're putting something better in your lifestyle, you're automatically eliminating something that was worse for you because it's a trade. So it's like a double effect.
Well, you can't, it's like like stress. You can't be in the state of rest and digest and stress. It's
Right.
one or the other, right? So it's a healthy lifestyle choice. And when I love that when you reverse it from an unhealthy lifestyle choice and you change it to a healthy lifestyle choice, you get a twofer.
Yes, you do get a twofer.
I like twofers.
Who doesn't like a twofer?
Well, this is part of the lifestyle thing.
Yeah.
We call it the daily dozen because if you do these dozen things every day or more consistently, and I'll talk to you about how to get consistent because I have some pretty cool ways to do that.
Yeah.
Because consistency is the key here. If you can do this with regularity, then it starts moving over time. None of these things are going to happen overnight. But the consistency is just like going to the gym. You're sore for a little while, but then after a while it becomes a habit, it becomes trained in your brain, and all of a sudden it becomes something you do.
Yeah, so, and that's it. The consistency, I think, is when, how long do I have to do this until I can stop doing it? So we have to be kind enough to ourselves to find a way to do it, to be consistent.
And do things that we love to do. So when we say exercise, I can't stand running. I have bad knees through my cancer treatments, but what could I do? So I'm always trying to solve the problem. What could I do I love to do? Well, I rode bikes my whole life as a kid. I'd run, because we didn't have Ubers and scooters. I rode bike everywhere and I got dirty. So I got on my bike and I started mountain biking and road riding, and it's really easy on the knees. So that's my way of doing it. And when I move, I'll do exercise in my garden and I'll do yard work, and that helps me be in nature, but I like it. So can we do more things we like? But the daily dozen is really simple. It's not hard things. And we can get 2-fers and 3-fers out of it because you can stack them on each other, so you're doing one thing that has a few of them.
Yes, okay, so let's hit it. Tell us about the Daily Dozen. Let's hear about that.
All right, let's see if I can get most of these done. It's in
Okay.
my Wellness Made Simple program
Okay.
that people can get and online. It's free, but like things like water. We don't drink enough water, but if we do that every day, half your body weight in ounces of water per day. So if you're 150 pounds, that's 75 ounces per day. Coffee and alcohol don't count, but there's water in fruit, there's water in vegetable, but monitor and track your water.
Okay.
So that's just one of them. Get your water done every day, right? Healthy bowel movements is in the Daily Dozen. If you're
Okay.
not pooping right,
Which is, give that definition.
I just say poop snakes.
Poop snakes?
Poop snakes.
At least once per day.
At least once per day. That's it.
Okay.
Like simple. Don't get on the score and the rubric and what does it look like. No,
Yeah.
poop snakes.
Okay.
But if you're not detoxifying the stuff that are toxic, you're holding it in, you're reabsorbing it, and you're becoming more toxic.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So there's another one. Being in nature. Every day, just be in nature. You don't have to go to the mountains or the beach to be in nature. You can just be outside and be under a tree. So bringing that into play, right? These are things, getting sunshine. Those are two things you could do at the same time. But if we're stuck inside all the day, we're not getting our vitamin D. How fun, how good does it look to work in sunshine? It just feels good, right?
That's good, yeah.
So there's a physiological response that happens there. So eat more plants. It's in the Daily Dozen. Half your plate should be plants. Just plant-based, phytonutrient-dense foods.
Okay.
Simple.
Phytonutrient dense means what?
All the good stuff in plants and vegetables and fruits.
So
right?
when
the
people are
colors
thinking
of the
the
rainbow.
colors of the
I just say
rainbow.
eat Skittles, or eat the rainbow, not Skittles,
Yeah.
right? Because that's where you're getting all of that diversity of all of those chemicals that are all really good for you.
For my kids, I did the 5 colors on your plate growing up. So you had to
Yeah.
have, and if they didn't have 5 colors, and two beiges don't count as 2 different colors.
Whites doesn't count.
Whites don't count. So if they'd go get a strawberry from the refrigerator or whatever it might be, it just even just one just to balance out the plate, and it's great.
It all adds up.
It does. So we've got water, bowel movements, being in nature,
Eat more
eat
plants.
more plants.
You've got, we talked about it earlier, but meditation, even 5 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day, does work, right? So
Okay.
there's apps, there's so many things we can do with meditation. There's no wrong way to do it. Your mind is supposed to chatter.
Yes, it is.
Well, so I don't want to get too deep in that, but I want to plant the seed for that because it is irrefutable science.
Yes.
We don't, instead of grabbing your TikTok and the scroll of death on your phone,
Yeah.
why don't you close your eyes and listen to some music and just go zen out for a few minutes.
Yeah, and
It
if you have
works.
trouble with that, breathing deeply, so that,
Count your breaths.
Count
Just
your breaths.
go. I do this easy. Wellness Made Simple is simple, right? Every
Right.
3 hours, 3 minutes, deep breathing.
Okay, and what does deep breathing look like?
Breathe. I always say breathe like you're breathing through your hips.
Okay.
As deep as you can through your belly. That's going to
Okay.
activate the vagus nerve. It's going to activate your rest and digest
I'm
system.
doing it right now, okay.
5.5
nose.
seconds in.
Okay.
In through your nose, out through your mouth, through your nose.
Okay, 5.5
Deep
seconds
breathing.
in, how long out?
And if you want to reset your stress, there's
Mm-hmm.
another easy one.
Do it.
All right, you're breathing in for 5 minutes through your nose, always through your nose,
5 seconds? Great.
and then you're exhaling for 8.
Yeah,
So in for 4, out for 8. So when you breathe out twice as long as you're breathing in with
Okay.
conscious breaths, you're noticing your breath. You can even look at your heart and
Yeah.
just feel your heart as you're breathing.
It resets
That
your
will reset your
parasympathetic.
parasympathetic system.
yeah, that's perfect. That's great. So for 5 minutes, if you aren't, even if your mind is chattering, if you can count your breath, exhales that are longer than inhales.
You can reset your nervous system in 90 seconds with
Yeah.
intention.
That's amazing.
But we don't do it, right? Because if I
Right.
told you put a timer on your phone every 3 hours for 3 minutes, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
During your work week, during your
Sure.
work day.
yeah.
No matter what you're doing, as long as that the fire isn't on in your business or whatever you're doing, just take your 3 minutes then and just reset. I do this all the time before we start. Before we start all of our meetings and our work, we take 3 minutes. We do a centering. It's called a centering exercise. You're just
Yeah.
centering yourself and getting that peace.
Wonderful.
People don't realize the power of breath.
Yeah, they
I
don't.
can change your blood pressure by 10 points with just breath.
Yes, absolutely. So where else? What are we our last?
So we're really talking free or no low-cost things you can do. We talked about sunshine. We talked about healthy bowel movements. Let me think of the other ones that we've got in there. More plants, meditation. I'm trying to figure out all the ones that are in there now. But there are 12 simple things you can do. Oh, movement, joyful movement.
Yeah.
Right? We talk about exercise, but movement is the new smoking. And when I say that is, we're a sedentary lifestyle. We're at home, we're at the computer. So joyful movement, dance, just be happy. Don't move with your phone in your hand. Go for exercise. Go for joyful movement. Put on some nice music, be in nature, listen to the birds, and be joyful.
So you can be out in nature, joyful movement, getting your sunshine.
You can stack all of that.
You can stack all of it in the. So I'm trying to make
playing
it
with
easy
my kids
for people.
is joyful movement.
Yes, absolutely.
So instead of the thing you have to do after work, playing with your kids, it's actually regenerative and healthy for you. And you have that mindset shift that I'm doing this for me.
Yeah.
That's becoming selfless, not selfish.
And when you have that focus time with intention, playing with your kids, it's oxytocin releasing for men. So more women as well, but more so for playing with children, more so for men, which is really important.
So when my kid, I have to do this all the time. My kid's like, Daddy, can you go play in the trampoline with me? They're 8 and 10. They're beautiful girls. They're full of love. And I was like, I'm busy. I'm tired. I don't want to. And like, no, go. Just do it.
Yeah.
And it's regenerative every single time. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. So our lifestyle then, we're talking about Daily Dozen. We can find that on your website. We talked about diet, and that's also in your program.
I've got a PDF printout of the Daily Dozen. You can just throw it on your computer screen or wherever and just remind you. You can, I've timed it. You can do all of it in less than an hour. So it's 1/24 of your day.
That's it. And it doesn't have to be an hour all at once. It's an hour broken up throughout the day. So
We love information in little pieces, right? But if you do these consistency, it's exactly the principles around blue zones and how people live longer. So it's backed by science.
That's wonderful, Josh. Thank you again so much for being with us again today.
Oh, my pleasure. This is so much fun.
You'll join us next week.
Thank you.
Okay. And please join us after these. Oh, I didn't ask how you could find you.
So rxtowellness.com. If you want to really look at my pharmacy, it's dilworthdrug.com. This is what we do in Charlotte, but rxtowellness.com. This is what I'm really looking at. I really want to make sure people understand, we can do this. My Wellness Made Simple, I do the little mini videos to show you it's not that hard to get the wellness in there. So rxtowellness.com. It's the easiest way to get started.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. And please join us after these messages for our next guest.
If you're on supplemental oxygen, heavy and awkward tanks can be a burden. Now you can leave home and leave the tanks behind with Inogen, portable oxygen therapy that moves with you.
With my Inogen, now I'm able to do the things that I've always loved. I just press a button here, and there's my oxygen.
Inogen systems are so small and light, you're free to leave the house without the hassles of an oxygen tank.
I could play golf again. I could go grocery shopping. I'm free again.
With the Inogen, I can handle my own oxygen. I can carry my own oxygen. I go anywhere with this. Look how small it is.
And right now, you can try an Inogen portable oxygen system for 30 days risk-free. Call us right now. If you qualify, we'll send you an Inogen system to use for 30 days risk-free. Your insurance may even cover your new Inogen system.
If you're on oxygen, you need to be using an Inogen.
Call 800-367-1753. That's 800-367-1753.
¿Tiene un carro, camioneta o SUV viejo en su casa? Aunque no funcione y piense que es chatarra, usted puede llamar al número en pantalla y donarlo a Susan G. Komen para ayudar a salvar una vida. Nuestro personal calificado va hasta su domicilio a recogerlo de forma totalmente gratis. La donación de su automóvil, camioneta o SUV viejo ayuda a apoyar a las personas afectadas por el cáncer de mama, así como también al trabajo vital de Komen en investigación, atención al paciente y educación. Necesitamos su ayuda. Tal vez considere que su auto viejo es chatarra o que no vale nada. Pero ese auto no deseado es importante para que Susan G. Komen continúe ayudando a las personas con cáncer de mama. Llame al número en pantalla hoy. Iremos a recoger su auto rápidamente. También recibirá una deducción de impuestos por su donación caritativa. Ayúdenos a ayudar. Llame ya.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Welcome back, and back with us today is Dr. Reagan Tilley, functional family physician. We are going to talk about some sensitive topics, so I just want you to be aware as you continue watching. Welcome back, Dr. Tilley.
Hey, it's so good to be here again, Jessica.
So glad that you're here.
Thanks.
So we've talked a lot about trauma, big T trauma, so those are things like car accidents or abuse, and then little t traumas, which can be, give me a little example.
So some of those can be kind of that ongoing, underlying, uncomfortable living situations, just ongoing nitpicking from a parent, things like that.
Okay.
And that can be big trauma for some people, but those are just kind of simmering, smaller traumas that are ongoing.
Okay, and I know we had talked a little bit about trauma and how it's related to addiction. I'm assuming that a lot of addiction is to numb you out or to escape from whatever that might be.
Right.
I'd love to hear you speak on that.
Sure. So, I mean, if we look at, if we would look at what we think of or imagine somebody who's an addict, right? That usually gets a really negative connotation. There's lots of addictions. There's drug addiction, porn addiction, food addiction. Food addiction is one of those that's really difficult because we all eat. And so a lot of people closet eat. They'll hide that addiction. There is also addiction to power. There's addiction to control. Things that, those are the different types of addictions that people may have related to trying to change how they feel. So much of the time, addiction starts as just an attempt to numb out some pain. We try a little bit of alcohol, or we try some pot when we're younger, or some people will use other, things like marijuana, meth, cocaine, heroin, all of that just to numb out because they want to turn off or feel different. All of those are impacting our neurotransmitters. Things like dopamine and serotonin are highly affected, and then we lose the ability to create the calming and the feel-good neurotransmitters naturally. Our bodies are made to produce those through just experiencing life. Those people who are high on life, right? Their neurotransmitter systems are excellent. They are 100% on it, right? So what I've experienced a lot of is in the jail medicine that I used to do, we had a lot of people that would come in on opiates, and we would do detox. We would have to try to help them come off of that substance. And what we did is we symptom managed. A lot of it was the discomfort. They didn't want to feel pain, and so what they got was this rebound of massive pain, nausea, gut problems, and then their anxiety went through the roof. And so with that, their vital signs became affected as well. And so we had high blood pressure, tachycardia, there were so many different things that they went through physically. So what I want you to do is understand, we're moving into that physical sensation, right? So think about a time you felt really uncomfortable, or you had been a part of something that created a lot of trauma, right? And how did you feel in your body? So again, I don't want you to go into that space right now of feeling really anxious or like you are going into that trauma again. But think about your heart rate was fast, your breathing was shallow, you wanted to run, that fight or flight, right? You wanted to just kind of I'm a fighter. Like I'll deck somebody, right? But a lot of people will shut down, or that's called fawning. Other people will run. They'll just go hide. For me, my first reaction is to lash out a little bit. So I don't choose to sit in those areas anymore because I know how to control my emotions, and I've learned how to accept and absorb and not be, but I let it go through me. With addiction, though, people are trying to find a way to numb that feeling, the pounding heart, the pain, because emotional pain can be physical pain. And so they are looking for a way to fix that. I was listening to Carolyn Meese, who does a lot of work in medical intuition, spiritual healing, and things like that. And it's just a wonderful lesson that day about we're trying to plug a hole, right?
Yeah.
So people who have food addictions, when you're uncomfortable, what do? And then you don't even have to be a food addict to be somebody who wants comfort.
Right.
We think about the things when we were a kid, we went to grandma's house and we got a cookie, it made us feel good. Or it was family dinner, and in order to just cope with the family dinner, it was Thanksgiving, so we just ate. Because if we were eating, we couldn't be arguing, or we couldn't be like feeling uncomfortable. We were making Aunt Sally happy that we tried her Jell-O salad, right? So these are all the things that we stuff with, right? So that's what can lead to a food addiction, which can lead to obesity for some people. It can also lead to drug addiction. You know, if we have this more maladaptive coping, even food addiction is not well adapted, but it's an acceptable adaptation. But there's other types of addictions. Like I said, that power, that control.
Yeah, tell us a little
and
bit.
Success. You know, looking at these high achievers, right? The CEOs that seem to have it all, right? They've got all the money, they've got the latest boy toy or girlfriend, all of the things, the big cars, the big house, all of that. That's kind of an extreme achievement level, but a lot of people use that for their kind of vision boarding that they do. They want to have all of that stuff. And they're addicted to the success that it takes to get there. Biochemically, the same neurotransmitters that alcohol, heroin, cocaine can impact in our body, or the rapid scrolling on your phone, right? The flip, nonstop TikTok mindset. We have the 30-second brain span these days.
Yeah.
Those are the same neurotransmitters that success, that power, that achievement can give you as well. So some of our high achievers are not happy.
Yeah.
They should be, because they've got everything, right? You've got the job, you've got the house, you got the dog, you got the kids, you got the car, right?
Yeah.
But inside you still feel like you're missing something. So the next hit is the next success.
Okay.
It's the next level of achievement. And again, I'm not here to assign right and wrong.
Right. Because I can imagine a lot of people are like, so
what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
I feel great. I've got all the things.
Yes.
I'm pretty happy. The issue comes when they're not happy.
Right.
Is that it? Or
Yes.
when they can't settle down and say it's not, I can, what happens when they retire?
Right, right.
You know, so maybe it's like I can't get to that next level of, and is it personal sense of achievement, or is it attaboys from outside of them?
It's both.
Okay.
So that's your love language. That's a whole different topic, but it can have to do with your love languages, or how you receive praise, how you receive the understanding of what success is. So often, what I find when we're working on kind of that trauma care is that we aren't able to accept success or a win or something good on face value, because we don't have that external validation. Because when we were a traumatized child, we needed mom or dad to be happy, right?
Okay.
We needed to receive that in order to know we did right. That was our answer. So it does come from outward success, and so that's why a lot of people get kind of addicted to how many followers do you have? You know, how big is your email list and all of that, and you feel personally attached to those numbers. It's a healthy attachment when you notice it. It's like, oh, that's cool. But when it's like, oh, somebody unfriended me.
Oh, so you're saying people that are in that space, then they're so sensitive to that those little things that we can see might be an issue.
Yes,
So when we compare this, I mean, my presumption is, because I want to make sure that say, I know we have a very high achieving audience also, and I don't want anyone to say, well, wait a minute, it doesn't mean that's where you are.
No.
It's whether you're happy or unhappy. That's really going to tell you, and whether you have this need of that. We hear all the time from highly successful people, I wish I had spent more time with family.
Exactly.
You know, on their deathbed, or when they're older, when they're really highly successful. It's like, I wish I had done this in hindsight. Is that basically what you're trying to do? Help people see there is a whole global you that you can experience.
Exactly. And I was going to lean into that. So thank you for kind of bringing that up, because what I want the high achievers to understand is that there's nothing wrong with achievement at all.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with success. There's nothing wrong with also understanding when it's not giving you what you need. So when you find yourself constantly getting and growing, and you've made it, you've got everybody telling you, hey, look at this level you've achieved, and inside, you're like, I don't feel any better, I don't feel good. That's what I want to work on with you. Because if we can help you find peace, if we can help you find that balance of what is the thing that you're trying to fill this empty hole with, then all of those things, the accolades, the success, and all of that will actually give you fulfillment. And you may not need as much. There comes a point when too much of a good thing can be too much.
Yeah.
So what I have learned, and what I have successfully been able to work with people through, is finding what it is they're missing and helping to enhance that. Some of the things that people have told me after working with me on this, in this space, on this program, is that my kids like me again. My wife doesn't want to stab me in the eye with a fork when I open my mouth.
Yes.
We like to go for walks together because we actually enjoy spending time together. Or I've learned that nature and I get along really well. Nature's my new church. I go out there and I can just soak it in. I don't feel like I'm wasting half an hour when I go for a walk because I should be doing 15 other things.
Yeah.
I can get those 15 other things done more elegantly when I'm really doing well on the inside. And so this is where I try to meet people at. This is a wonderful headspace to be in, because that's where healing occurs.
And they present as, you know, everything's fine, but something's off? Is that basically how they present? Or?
Oftentimes what I see is, it's usually just one little thing. It's like, everything's great. I have a great marriage. I have a great job. Everything's fine. I don't understand what's wrong. I just don't understand
why. Why am I not happy?
Yeah, why am I not happy? Or why can't I feel good? Like they're exhausted. So unhappiness and depression can present in the body in different ways. So it can be insomnia. It can be tummy aches or belly aches. It can be rashes. It can be hair loss. It can be any number of physical symptoms, right? So I say I see and take care of everything.
All of it.
But all of it really comes back to this core issue of whole health, body, mind, spirit, unity. Where are we at when we are truly functioning at our highest level?
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. Well, thank you for being with us again. Will you please let everyone know how they can find you?
Sure. So my brick and mortar practice is Whole Health MHK, and the website is simple. It's wholehealthmhk.com. I do run an online program, and it is called the Quantum Metabolic Reset. The website for that is very simple as well, quantummetabolicreset.com. You can find me and work with me in person or virtually.
Thank you so much. I will see you back again next week.
I can't wait.
Thank you for joining us, and please stay tuned after these messages for our next guest.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
If you're on supplemental oxygen, heavy and awkward tanks can be a burden. Now you can leave home and leave the tanks behind with Inogen, portable oxygen therapy that moves with you.
With my Inogen, now I'm able to do the things that I've always loved. I just press the button here, and there's my oxygen.
Inogen systems are so small and light, you're free to leave the house without the hassles of an oxygen tank.
I could play golf again. I could go grocery shopping. I'm free again.
With the Inogen, I can handle my own oxygen. I can carry my own oxygen. I go anywhere with this. Look how small it is.
And right now, you can try an Inogen portable oxygen system for 30 days risk-free. Call us right now. If you qualify, we'll send you an Inogen system to use for 30 days risk-free. Your insurance may even cover your new Inogen system.
If you're on oxygen, you need to be using an Inogen.
Call 800-367-1753. That's 800-367-1753.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you. Call 800-749-7781. That's 800-749-7781. Call now.
And we're back. Back with me today is Dr. Latasha Hicks, family physician for over 10 years, who's now working with bioidentical hormones and hormone optimization for both men and women. Welcome back, Dr. Hicks.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be back.
It's always my pleasure. I love how you talk about how you meet your patients and how empathetic you are to what they need and what their needs are.
Yes.
And I love that about you. I just want to give you a little shout out on that. And I'd love to talk to you today about hair loss, because it's something that is not talked about, but it's a very obvious thing when we're out in public. And I think that a lot of people feel a lot of shame. They feel like they shouldn't feel so badly about hair loss.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot that goes into that. It's a lot of emotion surrounding hair loss for men and women. I've seen it both ways. You know, there are young men who start losing their hair in their 20s, and women whose hair starts thinning for different reasons, whether it be hormonal changes, thyroid issues, having a baby. A lot of times young women experience hair loss and hair shedding after having their children. And it's so much already going on with your body changing, and then also now you have to deal with that too. So it can be very emotionally distressing for people.
So I do want to talk about the hormonal implication there as well, but I would love just to hear about the reasons. I think people frequently just say, why? Why am I losing hair?
Right. So some parts of it can run in families. So there are some people, men and women, who have patterns of hair loss that you find throughout the family. You know, the women in the family may lose hair. Typically, you may see the hair loss here in the temples, or you may see it in the crown of the head, which is like more of a male pattern. Also, with some women, they may experience it depending on what type of hair options they are using, such as wigs and things that may be putting traction on their hair and causing the hair follicles to pull. So that's another way. Also, thyroid issues. If your person's thyroid is too low or sometimes even too high, you can see hair shedding. And just sometimes it comes along with age as well. And then there are people who take their testosterone and their body converts it into another molecule in their peripheral tissues like skin and hair, so that they will start to develop hair loss as well in their scalp. Sometimes they may even develop like a woman that develops hair on the upper lip or underneath the chin and things like that.
Well, I'd love to talk about that since you're a hormone specialist. So let's focus on that for hair loss for a minute, about how does that hormone testosterone conversion work, or what can people do in that space?
Yes, so there's a lot that can be done actually. There are different serums that we can put topically. Also, I have access to a therapy that is with infrared light that helps to stimulate the hair follicles to regrow. I also have access to a hair replacement specialist who I partner with for my patients who need something while we're regrowing your hair and working on your hormones and optimizing everything. If you need a hair prosthesis or something else to help cover the areas that are causing you distress, we have options for that too, that can have you looking like you're 25 again.
That's amazing. So you're doing that. You're having people come to see you. You help them optimize their hair growth options while they can then see your specialist that you partner with, who can help you kind of cover that up while you're having that regrowth occur.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
I want to take a moment to say thank you for your conscientiousness and care that you're providing for your patients. A lot of people don't do that. Think of how are we going to get you from point A to point B. There's a big space in the middle sometimes,
Yes.
especially when it comes to hair loss, because that can take a while.
Right.
How long on average are you seeing that taking for people to have regrowth with one of your methods?
So sometimes it can take a few weeks. When you first start having the hair growth, you may not notice it because they're little baby hairs and they're grown, but they're growing, they're coming in, and they're little tiny little hair follicles, and they're coming on up. They may look like little peach fuzz at first, and then it starts to develop, into the grown hair like what we're used to. And sometimes you can find that we're restoring the hair back into those areas that you have been worried about and troubled about, and now the hair is fuller. I've had patients that have actually come to me, and I have treated their hormones, gotten everything optimized, and saw the hair just flourish. So it was something they may have been distressed about at first, but now they are doing well. Hair is fuller. Their hairstylists and barbers are just, enthused about what they're seeing.
That's wonderful. So do you find that, I just want to focus on women for a minute. I know we focus on men with hair loss and have for so long. I really want to focus on women because we are seeing it a lot more, especially with hormonal imbalances at younger ages, things like PCOS and other issues where we're seeing those imbalances. What specifically are you giving them or doing? Is it, because it's not all just testosterone here in this space. So what is it that you're looking at and doing?
You want me to tell my secret?
I want your secret sauce right now.
Well, so one of the things that can be done is there is a medication that is a very common medication, is used for other indications as well. But this medication actually provides a blockade of that conversion of testosterone in the peripheral tissues. It's literally like a little pill that you take every day. It will block your body from taking your testosterone and turning it into DHT in your hair follicles, so that then once that stops, now the hair follicles can recover, and they are there, but the DHT is causing it to not grow appropriately. So once you block that, the hair will start to just come back.
Okay, perfectly safe medication?
Perfectly safe
We don't have to
medication.
share the name of it. I don't want anyone to go out of line and go from there. They can come see you if they want to learn about this.
Right.
So perfectly safe. And how long after starting to take this medication are people finding results?
You should start to see results in just a few weeks of the hair
baby
growth.
hairs.
The baby hair starting to come back, and then next thing you know, you start to take your pictures and looking, and you start to just see the fullness coming back as well. Also, we have topicals as well that you can put on, things that contain minoxidil, which a lot of people remember as the original Rogaine. I don't know if you all remember Rogaine, but the active ingredient Rogaine, we also have options that have that. That helps the hair to regrow as well. So we're basically hitting it from internal as well as external. So external will be the topicals, putting things directly on there, infrared light, but then with the other medication that I was talking about, it's from internal to out.
Okay, and so when people have this testosterone turning into DHT and you're doing that blockade, what else with this testosterone in that pathway? Is there anything else we should be thinking about when it comes to these patients coming in? Like, is there anything lifestyle-wise that is helpful for them as well, or anything that you add into that space?
Well, one of the things that we do as well is to optimize your nutrients. as well as iron. A lot of people do not realize that iron deficiency actually causes hair loss. So for women that are anemic or have heavy cycles and they've been losing all of the iron over the years, they are wondering, why is my hair thinning? That can be something as well. B12 levels, all of these other things. Also, there's something that I help to give my patients. It's a certain supplement that I sell on my vitamin shop, and it's called methyl factors. But this particular one, it has a methylated folate in it, as well as a B complex. And a lot of times people don't realize that the inflammation in their bodies are unable to fully recover. And sometimes when you put the methylated folate in, now your body is able to efficiently deal with inflammation, and that also helps.
That's great. And I think what the audience needs to hear, because you've heard methylation here a lot on the New Health, and when we think of methylation, think of it as an active form of a vitamin, so your body doesn't have to work as hard to make that vitamin do its job.
Yes.
And so that's why it's so beneficial. I love that you also have multi-factors in it, because a lot of people will use just methylfolate or just methylated B12, but what that can do is it can cause like a traffic jam in your system, because you don't have a little bit of all of those vitamins and nutrients that you need in order to have those building blocks to be able to recover
So
in this way.
particular vitamin, it actually has all of it all in one. So it makes it so much easier.
That's great. And that's, nobody wants to take more than they have to.
Yes.
So just taking that one is wonderful.
Exactly. So I have had patients that say, I don't want to take a lot of pills. They're trying to do it as natural as possible with as little intervention as possible. So I do like to have vitamins that have multiple uses, where we can minimize all of the pill taking.
Yeah, that's great.
It can be distressing for people.
Yeah, especially when it's a vitamin, when it's combined and all put together in one capsule.
Yes.
So helpful. It's just one once a day?
Yes. Well, that one you can actually take 3 a day. You can take up to 3 a day. So you can start with 1 a day, and you can take up to 3 a day, and they can be taken all at the same time. So you don't have to take them all throughout the day where it's interrupting your day. That can be taken.
Yeah, I can take things once a day. I'm good. Twice a day, I'm hit and miss. 3 times a day, I'm throwing the whole batch out.
Exactly.
It's just not gonna happen.
So I try to make it as easy and as efficient as possible for people, because a lot of my patients are busy professionals.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So thank you so much again for coming and for joining us today. You'll join us again next week?
Yes, I will be back.
Okay, please let everyone know what you're working on right now and how they can find you.
Okay, so right now we have so many wonderful things we're working on. We have specialized programs for hormone optimization, as well as hair loss solutions that we are working on. Some new and innovative things that are coming that I think you all would really be excited about. You can find me on the web at www.exceptionalcareelite.com. Again, that's www.exceptionalcareelite.com. On Instagram at xcareelite, that's EXCAREELITE. And you can call the office at 713-659-9309. We would love to talk to you and to help to guide you in whatever decisions that you would like to make for your optimal health and living your best life.
Thank you so much again. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
And thank you for watching as well. Come back after these messages for our next guest.
How would you like to go on a 5-star vacation for just $99? We're talking about the quality of a Westgate resort for $99. Not for one night, but for 3 fantastic nights at one of their luxurious destinations across the United States. And you'll even get a free $100 Visa gift card just for making a reservation. We've got some of the choicest destinations that you'll love in the United States that you can choose from for just $99 for a 3-night stay. Take your family, take a special loved one, but get away. Go on vacation with Westgate Resorts. Call now to make a reservation for just $99, and you get a free $100 Visa gift card. Call Westgate right now and book your vacation. Here's the number.
Call 877-930-3491. That's 877-930-3491. Again, 877-930-3491.
If you're on supplemental oxygen, heavy and awkward tanks can be a burden. Now you can leave home and leave the tanks behind with Inogen, portable oxygen therapy that moves with you.
With my Inogen, now I'm able to do the things that I've always loved. I just press the button here, and there's my oxygen.
Inogen systems are so small and light, you're free to leave the house without the hassles of an oxygen tank.
I could play golf again. I could go grocery shopping. I'm free again.
With the Inogen, I can handle my own oxygen. I can carry my own oxygen. I go anywhere with this. Look how small it is.
And right now, you can try an Inogen portable oxygen system for 30 days risk-free. Call us right now. If you qualify, we'll send you an Inogen system to use for 30 days risk-free. Your insurance may even cover your new Inogen system.
If you're on oxygen, you need to be using an Inogen.
Call 800-367-1753. That's 800-367-1753.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and e-pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
And we're back. And back with us today is Brian Fetzer, co-founder and president of Iron Faith Nutrition. Welcome back, Brian.
Jessica, it is a pleasure to be on the show. It's been fun the last couple of weeks.
It's really been a lot of fun. So today, I know it's your last week with us, so I really want people to understand. So many people are buying their supplements on Amazon or a quick overnight and get it as cheap as you can. And I want people to understand why it's important to work with a name brand supplement line and to order supplements through correct channels. If we could talk about that a little bit today.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you start looking at, do I want something really cheap or do I want something that's good? You pay for what you get. If you want something cheap, you're probably going to get a product that's not very good. And sadly, that's how a lot of people think. When you're starting to get them, we're a small business, and we do things from the heart. It's the way our company was brought together and why we do what we do. So yes, getting something directly from a company is a big help to that company specifically. They're, especially the small businesses, the major corporations, they could care less. Get it however you want, because a lot of them are producing products that aren't very good, that are very simple, and they're using the cheapest ingredients possible. I mean, in all honesty, we had to discontinue one of our products, Circadian Balance, which was a meal replacement supplement, because it cost absolutely too much to put the best ingredients in play. And so we, realized that it's not worth doing anymore, because we're basically losing money a lot of times on it. And, that's a tough decision to make as a business owner. And we've got suggestions. Hey, it's a great product. Just make the ingredients not quite as good. Why isn't your profit margins high? And that's just not in our nature. We want the best products that we can possibly put forth to help people out. And I think there's a lot of other companies that do the same, but you just got to really watch what, where you're buying some from.
You do. And one thing I love about Iron Faith Nutrition is your standards of having high quality ingredients in your supplements. You also do third-party testing. Could you describe to our audience what that means?
Yeah, I mean, curcumazyme, our most popular product, is Informed Sport certified. And what you've got to kind of understand with that is they're looking at it and saying, do you have in your product what you say is in your product? Is it safe for an athlete or a firefighter or a police officer, somebody that goes through drug testing? Are they going to test for a banned substance? I've known a numerous number of athletes over the years that have grabbed something off the shelf at some, mega store and taken it and tested positive because it was contaminated. The different substance wasn't on the label, but it's cross-contaminated. So, our manufacturers do things the right way. They make sure that they're all the processing is done in compliance. Our SE Herbal tea is kosher certified, which is very important. So I mean, you have different certification processes, and those are important to have on the bottle. If they're not on, then you really don't know for sure what's in there.
That's for sure. And so when we talk about third-party testing, what that means is the company, your nutraceutical company, your supplement company, is asking an outside source to test the ingredients. It's that one step removed for honesty, right? It's like, we know our ingredients are pure. We know that we have this much of the ingredients in each one. They send those products to a neutral company that is basically testing them to say, yes, what you say is in your product is true. And yes, that's very important. We need to, when we're looking at supplements, look at companies that are third-party verified, because there's so many supplement companies. I know the New York Times a year or two ago ran an article. They went to major grocery stores, like Target. They went to Target. I know Target was one of them. And nothing about Target. It's the products that were on the shelves. They bought the products at the different stores. That the stores are just getting in from the company that is providing it. And then they tested those products and found what those products said that was in their bottles was not actually in their bottles. And so those are brands that maybe we have heard of, which I'm not going to mention here, but feel free to, people can go look up the New York Times article. But there are those brands where we might say, oh, I've heard of that name brand. It's very inexpensive, but I've heard of it, so I'm going to take it. And they have been proven to not have the right ingredients in them.
I think the best advice I was ever given was do your own research. Look up and figure out. Just because I say something, don't necessarily believe me. And it's a business owner shouldn't say that, but you gotta look up stuff and find out, is it honest? Is it truthful? Is it what it is? Does it do what they're claiming that it does? And don't just kind of go on the CNNs and the Foxes and all the different media outlets and just listen to what they say. Do your own research. Look things up. Do a little study. If you're putting it in your body, you better know what it actually is and what it actually does, instead of taking the advice from some influencer or some media person. That's the way I look at things. I want to see if the claim is true.
Yeah, watch the testing. I don't mind watching like news sources that are actually gathering the data too, but verify. Right, verify. And
absolutely.
That's it. Make sure. And then the other aspect of where do we get it from? You could have a high level, high grade nutraceutical supplement that then you're going to go purchase from not the place of origin. So not, for example, ironfaithnutrition.com. Somebody could be counterfeiting that, and that's a big thing that's happening out there too. So for my clients and patients, I recommend not purchasing off of Amazon, because especially if a bottle of something is normally $50, but you can sell it for $25, that's the wholesale price. Nobody's making money on it. So I wonder, is that a counterfeit substance, or is it just high volume? When that happens, and I was very naive in this space. I thought, but I see the bottle looks fine, but it's a white bottle. Someone could have just made a sticker label and put whatever capsules inside. And I haven't had it happen to me, but I actually have a good friend who I gave access to my supplement line, and she wanted to get something real fast, ordered it on Amazon, and she got it, and the colors of the capsules were different. She's like, this isn't the same stuff. I said, that's how that happens sometimes.
It is one of those things that you can always double check a site's website. If the price is the same as our website, you know, because we do sell it in retail stores. We do sell our product at chiropractors and different places. But if, you know, you're looking at a site and our product's half the price of what it is on our site, it's probably not real. Or if it's 2 or 3 times the amount, I would question that, because we're going to keep the prices to be the same, you know, when we sell them. And we tell the individuals that our distributors and like I said, chiropractors and health clinics and so forth that sell our product, we say this is the price that you need to charge.
Well, in Iron Faith Nutrition, even though we say high quality and it can be a higher price, it's not unreasonable. You don't have exorbitant prices. You have reasonable prices for a high quality line. So I don't want anyone to think that. They can check for themselves as well. But that's the other thing. If they're really inexpensive, check the expiration date. So when these are bought in bulk, so the supplement company I use, the more you purchase, then the less expensive it is. You know, it's like a bulk purchase. But then you have to worry about, how are people holding on to the bottles? Is it temperature controlled, environment controlled? Because it might be in a hot warehouse where it's denaturing or inactivating your supplements. So that's a possibility, especially with the probiotics and some of these herbs. If they're in these hot boxes, then it can absolutely negate the quality of what you're taking. And then how long has it been sitting in a warehouse? So you might receive it and it might have expired in 2022. You know, so that's something that you want to also keep track of when it comes to purchasing supplements. So it's the quality of the company. So do your research on the quality of the company, and where are you purchasing it from? So like I had mentioned Target earlier. There are some brands that tested not great, some brands that tested great, but that had to do with the quality of the company. So I don't have a problem at all. I'll go to Clark Pharmacy, a little plug for Clark Pharmacy out by me, because they're amazing. And I will go to Clark Pharmacy whenever I run out of anything, because they have everything temperature controlled, environment controlled, great education, information. So a lot of those co-op sites, chiropractors' offices, naturopath offices, functional medicine offices, those people are purchasing directly from you, the supplier of so that's a good, safe place where people can purchase supplements as well.
And if you're a chiropractor, you're a naturopath, if you would want to sell our products, absolutely, you could reach out to me. On our website, ironfaithnutrition.com. You could hit me up on LinkedIn, and I would definitely, have a discussion with you or put you in touch with the person that could be somebody that could tell you about it. And if you want to order products from our line, we're doing a special just for now 20, and you get 20% off if you order online from ironfaithnutrition.com.
Oh, that's wonderful, Brian. Well, thank you so much for being with us again. It's been a pleasure having you here for the last couple of weeks. I hope you consider coming back and joining us again sometime.
Absolutely, Jessica. Thank you so much for having me. It's been fun.
Well, and thank all of you for watching today, and please join us next week for our next episode of The New Health.
This has been a NowMedia Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Este es Juan. Juan quiere su televisor nuevo y esta noche viene a su casa para llevárselo. Pero no si su hogar está protegido por Seguro en Casa. Disfrute la posibilidad de monitorear toda su casa las 24 horas del día, 7 días a la semana. No solo por robos, sino también por incendios, monóxido de carbono, inundaciones y emergencias. Una solución inteligente que combina la seguridad del hogar con la automatización y le permite controlar, monitorear y modificar su hogar y sus necesidades de seguridad para adaptarse a su estilo de vida. Arme, desarme o verifique el estado de su sistema desde cualquier lugar, en cualquier momento. Comience a disfrutar de protección integral para el hogar por tan solo $27.99 al mes, incluyendo equipos de seguridad gratis por un valor de $850. Llame ahora mismo e incluiremos esa tarjeta de regalo Visa de $100 como nuestro obsequio especial para usted. Llame al número que ve en pantalla ahora mismo para proteger a su familia.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
Hi folks, Joe Namath here. And if you're having a hard time hearing, call MD Hearing because they changed my life and they can change yours too. I was wearing expensive hearing aids for years until a good friend of mine told me about MD Hearing. I bought a pair of the hearing aids with no doctor visit, no prescription, and no hassle. I got fitted right over the phone and I've never had a better pair of hearing aids. I'm even wearing them right now.
Call now and get 2 rechargeable Neo hearing aids for just $297 with a free portable charging case and free shipping. The rechargeable Neo is nearly invisible with its tiny in-the-air canal design, and you can get 2 rechargeable Neo hearing aids with a 45-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and free lifetime US-based support for only $297.
Call my friends at MD Hearing and get the over-the-counter hearing aids that I use for you.
Call 855-993-1890.
Para la protección de tus derechos humanos. Los números no mienten, las acciones tampoco. Por una auténtica defensoría del pueblo.